Hey, the channel, saddle up your horse for another WWE Legends Series 27 unboxing. This time, we're diving into the smoking guns with Billy Gunn.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Legends 27 unboxing and review. And today, we got a cowboy. We had a Desperado in Terry Funk. Now we get a cowboy with Billy Gunn. But for all your Billy Gunn needs, better hit up Target. But for everything else wrestling related, hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. However, grab these at Mattel Creations, basically the exact same price as Target, but shipping right now. So that's what I did. Went to Mattel Creations, got the whole wave. This is one of the better waves. I am missing Bart. We'll get to that, but I love a first time in the line character right here. Of course, the Great Muta and all-timer. Terry Funk, what can you say? And then my favorite incarnation of The Undertaker is the Underbiker. So a very strong set for me personally. Had to pull the trigger at Mattel Creations, and glad I did. Not sure when Target, probably the next couple of weeks or so, but basically the same price. So got to get a deal. And of course, got to do this review the usual way we do these reviews. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. But here we go with Billy Gunn without a Bart Gunn. Feels so unfinished, unfortunately. And an interesting twist here is I wonder, is Billy Gunn's deal coming up very soon? They said, hey, we better get this out. Or maybe is Bart Gunn signed and we're going to see something maybe at San Diego Comic-Con in a couple of weeks? Not real sure what's going on, and the reason for this, because the Mattel team, specifically Bill McKenna, in the past has said he doesn't like to put out halves of tag teams unless he has to. Now, they did the Warlord a while back. You guys remember that? An all-timer of a figure. They put that out because his deal was coming to an end. So they wanted to get it out there. That makes sense to me. Perfect business sense. But it does feel uneven without the Barbarian. Hopefully one day we get the Barbarian. But I think the same thing goes with this one. And I specifically asked Bill McKenna once upon a time. I said, hey, this is years ago. I said, Bill, we need Doom. We need Ron Simmons. I get it. Butch Reed's not on the table. But give us a Doom Ron Simmons. You know, just Ron Simmons, no mask. Give us a second head that comes with the hood. We can buy multiples. We can create our own Doom that way. Almost like a Smoking Guns in some ways. But that mask definitely helps. And Bill didn't like that idea. He said, no, I only like it if I can do the whole tag team. So that's where they left it. However, I wouldn't be shocked at all for San Diego Comic-Con to see a Ron Simmons Doom version with a second masked head. And we could do that ourselves. I would not be shocked at all. They've done a lot of Ron Simmons figures as of late. That's a key one that's missing. I could see that in the future. And let's hope we get Bart Gunn in the future as well. But there might be a workaround. We'll talk about it later in this video. But let's dive into the old cowboy here. He's ready to saddle up. And now it makes me, you know what we need? We need Sunny. That's who we need. We need to get Sunny. And I guess I do have a loose version, now that I think of it, of her Jakks 1 of 100 figure from her managing days of the Smoking Gun. So I'm going to pair those guys up in the glamour shots. Why would I not? Of course. But looking good, Billy Gunn here. Everybody likes a cowboy, of course. A true cowboy here. Looking good. Legends logo, of course. Series 27, 8 and up. Billy Gunn, Mattel, all the usual jibber jabber here. Series 27 on the side. Smiling cowboy. Smiling cowboy, of course. And I think for me and most people, this is your first ever introduction to Billy Gunn. I have to imagine, right? For most people, I guess. I guess somebody could be DX and, of course, the New Age Outlaws, I guess. But for me, this is the first time I ever remember hearing of Billy Gunn. On the back, cross-sell down below. We're unboxing all these on the channel. Make sure you do subscribe. And, of course, we will unbox the Terry Funk chase and rank the entire wave in a later video. Stay tuned for that. Jibber jabber blurb. Let's see what it says about Billy Gunn. Titles: Intercontinental Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, Hardcore Champion. Before he was a New Age Outlaw, Billy Gunn was part of the rootinest, tootinest tag team of the early 90s. You know, no lies detected there. The Smoking Guns, the Wild West-inspired brothers, captured the WWE Tag Team Championship 3 times, rode off into the sunset as one of the most memorable duos of the era. I also know lies detected right there, but they always looked like somebody that'd be like at an amusement park, like some stereotypical cowboys running around or something. Kind of the vibe I always got from them. would never say I was a big Smoking Guns fan. Now, some of the rarest Hasbro wrestling figures from back in the day were, of course, the Smoking Guns, and I believe that's the only time we've ever got Smoking Gun figures. So nice to get them back in the saddle again. Full pun intended right there. Billy Gunn in the background. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic Prison looking good. Looking just like a mean old hombre out there from the old West in the old Plastic Prison. And of course, he's got to be locked down. You got to lock down these Cowboys. There's no way around it. They're a dangerous group, these Cowboys, as we know. Pop that out there. Pop that out there. There we go. Oh, of course, one more. There's always that one last twist tie. Just trying to find it, trying to get to it. Never easy. And it's like, okay, we just powered through. Why wouldn't we? Let's power through it. And we're getting 2 cowboy hat characters in this wave. You know I'm here for that with Terry Funk. See you later, goodbye. There it goes. And let's get down to business. No 6-shooter, no weapons with this one, I guess, unfortunately. Unfortunately for all of us. But we do get Billy Gunn looking good, looking real good. Now he does got the #1 hands, the old bang bang, hey shooter, hey bang bang hands for Mick Foley, whatever you want to call them. We do got 2 of those. Nice to see that. Gonna have to display them with those, aren't I? I mean, it kind of just goes with the whole gimmick, I think. So we do get those 2 hands. Now we do get a cowboy hat on him. Fits pretty good. Big old cowboy hat. I don't know if we've seen this one in the past or if it's a reuse from somewhere. All in a kind of a off-white sand color, I guess. You got 3 little green dots of black around there. Looking good for what it is. Of course, I got a little speck on Billy Gunn's nose right there. Gonna have to get some acetone and clean that off a little bit is what I'm gonna have to do. But looks like old Billy Gunn, I think, especially this era of Billy Gunn. A strange era, of course, and we'll never forget the story a couple years after he left the Smoking Guns. He was on the indie scene, and he was trying to pick up my wife. Oh, I need to get my wife on the podcast to tell that story. And he told me I was a lucky man and shook my hand. And I said, I know I'm a lucky guy, I know. But yeah, he looks interesting there. But man, oh man, Billy Gunn's smiling. He's putting on that pearly white. It's looking very good. A little bit of a Fu Manchu action, looking very nice. Brown on the top, and then he's got the old Kentucky waterfall. Yes, the Kentucky waterfall. He's got it right there, the blonde hair in the back, even a little bit of like red. So interesting hairdo on one Billy Gunn, of course. Now diving into the rest of Billy Gunn here, got that big old duster jacket. It looks like he's just gonna move that thing down and pull it out and bang, bang, bang. Maybe do one of those kind of things. You never know. He's a wild man, of course. But looks good. Nice big duster going on. And I'm seeing and finding out right here that the duster, the vest, and the shirt are all tied in together. Now, the shirt has the Velcro in the front, so that's how you remove it, but it all comes together as one piece. I really like that. My concern with this one was you're going to have a duster, you're going to have a vest, and then you're going to have a shirt. It gets too many layers of clothing, and it never goes back on the figure the right way. With it all being interlocked and interconnected, that is the way to go. I am very happy they did that one on this here, of course. Billy Gunn jacked up. He was always a pretty jacked up dude. I'm really jacked up these days, but looking good in the body style there. He does got a handkerchief around his neck. That's perfect for cowboys that got to blow their nose, or grandpas working in the shop. Of course, my grandpa was a welder once upon a time. He'd have a handkerchief hanging there just in case he got to wipe his head, and he'd have it in his back pocket. You know, I'm sneezing, and he would say, Buck. He always called me Buck. He'd say, Buck, here, take my hanky. And I'd, blow my nose in the hanky. Then he'd put it back in his pocket. And now all these years later, I'm like, how many times did he blow his nose in that hanky? And then I blew mine in there, and it was just mixing our boogers together. It was a wild time, me and my grandpa. We spent some great times out there in the country, apparently. Swapping boogers, swapping spit. Well, maybe not spit. Yeah, time for, I don't know what I was saying there. That's you and me, Todd. That's you and me swapping spit. But wild times out there, now that I think about it. But a hanky nonetheless here for Billy Gunn. Might have to use this for me on a custom Kyle figure, of course. Young Kyle blowing, how do you make a hanky dance? You put a little boogie in it. That's your joke for the day. That's where we're going with that. Diving into the rest of Billy Gunn here. Enough about me and my grandpa swapping spit, right, Todd? You know what I mean. He had the belt going on. And then we do got those skinny jeans going there. Now, I believe these are the DDP legs we've seen recently here. I am not a huge fan of them. I feel they're just a little too skinny, and they just got a weird kind of strange look to them there. But it is blue jeans. I guess that's why they're here, to get reuse, as we know. Got some nice cowboy boots down low, though, in a tan color. Got the black soles looking pretty good as well. 2 gripping hands out of the package. These Smoking Guns, they're keeping it clean. No fists of fury with this one right here. Now, of course, usual Mattel articulation. I'm going to go backwards. Yes, I'm going backwards. We got ankles, back, forth, side to side, up and down. We got the usual articulation there. The new articulation, we'll call it. Boot cut, looking good. Double jointed pinless knees. I should say Vietnam. Yes, Vietnam on the back right here. thigh cut right there. Oh, look at that. No Vietnam bounce back. Nope, either leg, both legs good. He's even ready to hop on a horse if need be, if he has to. Waist articulation right there. Head back force, side to side, head removable. Important for what we'll get to here shortly. Of course, arms all the way around. Bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows, pinless knees as well. How dare I not mention that? Todd McFarlane taking notes over there? Should be. Hands removable back forth, side to side. So the usual articulation we get here with one Billy Gunn. Now, really missing Bart Gunn here. Something has to be done about that. You got to buy 2 of these figures just to have smoking guns, and there's got to be a way. Well, I've seen a lot of people do, of course, custom heads. Ordering a custom head online, getting them painted up. Choose your painter, choose your head maker out there. That is one option. But I've also seen people, and the first person I saw do it, and I've seen others do it since, so I don't know where it started. I don't know. I know the first time I saw it. Good friend of the channel, Dougie. Of course, we talked about Dougie before. He took this head off like so, and he grabbed, there we go, off with his head, and he went to his Ultimate collection, more specifically the Coliseum collection, and grabbed a Rick Rude head. So very interesting to see Rick Rude heads, of course. You can only display one Rick Rude, so you got 2 in a baggie, and you use this as a Bart Gunn head. And I'm going to use the kind of plain stoic head, I think is what I'm going to do. And it should get the point across perfect, no, but maybe get the point across here. You put the cowboy hat on, a little smoke and mirrors, you got Bart Gunn to go with Billy Gunn. In a roundabout way, maybe it's cheating the system, but it's good enough for me, I think. Because I would love to get a custom head, but do I want to spend $30? I don't know. Money's tight these days, let me tell you. It's tough out there. But I do like the idea of having the smoking guns. It feels weird to display just one guy sitting there. You need 2. This is a good workaround. This is early. These are just coming out. I'm sure there's maybe other heads somewhere along the line in the Elite history that might work just as good, if not better. If you know, sound it off in the comments. Help somebody else out, maybe. But we could do a Bart and Billy Gunn in a roundabout way with this one here. And I got another Billy Gunn coming, of course. I got multiple Terry Funks. I need about 3 of each one of those Terry Funks. If not more, play that long game, get some clearance if I'm lucky. But I do like this for what it is. Feels like a first time in the line character. It is in a lot of ways. It's something that's missing in our collection, especially 90s versions of characters, and the Smoking Gun's a big part of the tag team scene, as we do know. It's got nostalgic roots, of course, back to the Hasbro days. So there's a lot going for this one. It just is so sad that we don't have a Bart Gunn, at least as of right now. Maybe that'll change. Could change at San Diego Comic-Con. Things change in the drop of a hat. If I'm Bart Gunn, I'd sign a Legends deal. Why would you not? We'll see what happens in the future there. But looking good for Billy Gunn. Going to be interested to see where he stands tall in our set rankings. But what's your thoughts on this Billy Gunn? Worth the pickup for you? Easy pass? You're going to buy 2 and make your own smoking guns? What's your plan? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We've got another YouTube channel, 2 channels with content every single day. Appreciate all the support out there. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. My brand new podcast each and every Tuesday. It is The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. And last but certainly not least, Patreon YouTube channel memberships if you want to support the channel and get early access and all kinds of other stuff over there. Appreciate all the support across the board. But for a little Billy Gunn action, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?